All right, let's talk about that day, October 20th, 2025. You probably remember it. It was the day a huge chunk of the internet just stopped. We're going to dig into what went wrong, why it was so bad, and what this whole mess tells us about the, well, kind of fragile world we've built online.
So picture this. It's a Monday morning, totally normal, right? You're waking up, probably grabbing your phone to check the news or your messages, and nothing. Your whole digital world is just broken. That's how it started for millions of people.
And listen, this wasn't just, your Wi-Fi acting up. No way. We're talking about a massive disruption. It took down nearly a third of the entire internet. Think about that. Businesses, users, everybody suddenly offline. You can just imagine the chaos in IT departments everywhere.
For a lot of us, the first clue something was seriously wrong was when we tried to start work. You go to log into Slack, and it's just dead, completely unreachable. The one tool that pretty much runs the modern office, poof, gone. And it definitely wasn't just about work. Tried to do a little online shopping? Forget it. Major sites, even Amazon itself, were just spinning wheels of death. The global marketplace was effectively closed.
This is what really brings it home, though. It wasn't just the big stuff. You couldn't even order your morning coffee on an app. A McMuffin? Nope. That's when you realize this isn't some nerdy tech issue. This is an everything issue.
All right, so let's really get into the scale of this digital chaos. I mean, this was way beyond a simple inconvenience. It was like the entire global digital economy just seized up, all because of one single failure. Crazy, right?
The ripple effect was just insane. It hit pretty much every industry you can think of. Snapchat, Reddit, silent. Want to watch Prime Video? Down. Financial apps like Robinhood or Venmo? Totally frozen. And yeah, even McDonald's couldn't process mobile orders. It was a complete and total digital blackout.
And a blackout like that comes with a price tag. And oh boy, what a price tag. We're talking an estimated $75 million per hour for every single hour things were down. That's just a staggering amount of lost money and lost work, all because one critical part of the internet flickered out. So, the big question is, how on earth did this happen? Well, it was like a series of dominoes falling, one after the other, and it all started with a single service called DynamoDB. Let's follow the trail and see where it leads.
Yeah? What could possibly be powerful enough to knock out that much of the internet at the same time? The answer is actually hiding in a piece of internet infrastructure that's absolutely critical, but most of us never even think about.
It all boils down to 3 letters, DNS, the domain name system. The best way to think about it is like the phone book for the internet. You type in a name like Amazon.com, and DNS looks up the actual number, the IP address your computer needs to connect. Well, on October 20th, that phone book basically just fell apart.
Okay, so here's exactly how it went down. Step 1, a DNS error happens inside this massive Amazon data center in Virginia. Step 2, this makes a super important database service, DynamoDB, basically invisible to everything else. And because thousands and thousands of apps need DynamoDB to work, step 3, they all start crashing, a huge cascading chain reaction.
But wait a second, how can one little problem in Virginia cause a total global meltdown? I mean, why are people in London and Tokyo feeling this? The answer to that question, well, it points to a really big vulnerability in how the modern cloud is actually built.
And getting things back online? Yeah, that was not quick. This whole ordeal lasted 15 hours. Get this, even after Amazon put in a fix just a few hours in, the sudden rush of traffic coming back online created a whole new wave of problems. It literally took them all day to get things stable again. So why was the damage so widespread? A few big reasons. First, that Virginia data center, known as US East 1, is like the central station for Amazon Web Services. So when it went down, it didn't just take a server with it, it took the entire region. Then there's the really tricky part, hidden dependencies. Your company might not even use AWS directly, but what if your accounting software does? When their service goes down in Virginia, your business still grinds to a halt. And this isn't some freak accident either. This was the 3rd major outage for this exact same region in only 5 years.
This whole thing was a huge wake-up call for everyone. So enough about the problem. Let's talk solutions. What can businesses actually do to protect themselves from the next big one? Because let's be real, there will be a next one.
Okay, so there are basically 2 main paths to making your systems tougher.
The first is called multi-region. Think of it like having a backup office in another city. You're still with the same company, say AWS, but you're running in both Virginia and Oregon. The other path is multi-cloud. This is where you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You use services from different companies, like AWS and Microsoft Azure.
Now, neither of these is a magic bullet. There are definitely trade-offs. Going multi-region gives you pretty good protection, but it's expensive. Going multi-cloud, that's the ultimate safety net if one whole provider goes down. But wow, is it complex and even more expensive. It's a really tough choice for any business to make.
And really, that gets to the heart of the issue. This quote from Ken Berman, a professor at Cornell, just nails it. The technology, the strategies to prevent this stuff, they exist, but he points out that companies are in such a rush to launch new things that they just cut corners, and all those safety nets are left sitting there unused.
So when you boil it all down, what's the big lesson here? That outage on October 20th, it was the ultimate wake-up call. It's a critical lesson for literally any business that depends on the internet to survive.
And the lesson is actually pretty simple. It's this: outages are going to happen, period. No system is perfect. But, and this is the important part, massive company-killing downtime, that is not inevitable. That part we can actually prevent.
But preventing it takes a real shift in thinking. It means you have to treat this stuff as a top business priority, not just some IT problem. It means you actually have to figure out all those hidden services you depend on, and you have to practice your disaster plans. You have to build everything with the assumption that things will break and design it to keep running anyway.
Which leaves us with one final thought. When we say the cloud, all we're really talking about is using someone else's computer. That's it. So after a day like October 20th, every single one of us, every business, has to ask a simple but super important question. What's your plan B?